and welcome to What's New Today. This is a kids and family podcast, and I'm Sangeetha, your host from India. This episode is a summer special, a quiz on interesting trivia about different places on Earth. If you've ever wondered whether there was any corner of the world with no mosquitoes, this episode is the place where you can find answers to such questions. Joining me on this episode to be a part of this quiz are
My name is Advik. I'm studying at Balavidya Mandir. I'm in 6th standard.
Hello, I'm Devansh Bhojnagarwala. I study in class 6. I study in Lakshmipat Singhania Academy and I live in Kolkata.
Welcome back, both of you. How do you like geography the way it's taught in your schools?
Well, we're not really introduced to geography. We don't have a separate subject like that, such as geography. It's just included in our EVS.
Okay, the way it is taught in EVS about places and cultures and festivals and languages and countries and capitals, do you enjoy all of that?
I love it.
How much of it is thanks to your teachers and how much of it is your intrinsic love for the subject?
I would say about 8 out of 10 would be my teachers. 2 out of 10 would be my own literacy.
Your own intrinsic interest. Wonderful. You are very lucky. You have great teachers. Devansh, how do you like the way you learn geography or however it is called in your school?
Geography is good only, but one thing is, why am I being taught solar system in geography?
What is geography all about?
Geography is the study of Earth's physical features.
So how is solar system a physical feature of Earth?
So I think Devansh, your school has expanded the definition as
Yes,
geography as understanding physical features of everything that's part of space and universe.
yes,
Hmm? Okay, but still, how do you like the way it is being taught? Do you enjoy?
yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Okay, you're both very lucky with great teachers. Shall we begin our quiz?
Yes.
So here's what we're going to be doing. I am actually going to be according points to the two of you. Are you up for it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. All right, so I shall ask a question. Some questions will be directed to exclusively one person. Some questions will be open, and whoever answers the question first gets the point. All right?
Plus correctly.
Obviously, plus correctly. Yeah, sorry. That is a minor.
Ma'am, what if we don't answer the question?
Both of you get zero. I'll give you the correct answer. No, do you have a different idea if neither one of you knows the answer?
If neither one of us knows the answer, then you can ask a different question for that round.
Or I can give you hints that can help you answer.
That's
Okay.
better.
That's better?
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll start with a simple and an easy icebreaker. All right. So, Advik, you have 15 seconds and you shall have to give me three countries whose names start in C. Your time starts now.
Cyprus, Cambodia, Cyprus, Cambodia, Congo.
Well done. Devansh, your time starts now. 15 seconds. Give me three countries whose name starts in I.
India, Iceland, Israel.
Wonderful. So right now we've got 3 points for each one of you. So the next two questions are based on wildlife and countries. So whoever answers the question first and correctly gets the point. The question is, there is only one country in the world that has no mosquitoes. Which country is that?
Ma'am, Denmark? No. Ma'am, I had read about it just now.
Antarctica.
No. that is
Antarctica
not-
does not have mosquitoes, but it's not a country.
Ma'am, Switzerland?
No.
Iceland.
Yes. Advik is absolutely right. Can you tell me why Iceland does not have any mosquitoes, whereas Greenland, which is not very far from Iceland, has mosquitoes? Ireland has mosquitoes. Denmark
Because
definitely
of the
has mosquitoes.
because of the geysers.
There are more
Oh.
icebergs in Greenland.
No, geysers, Geysers. You're
Oh,
talking about the
gee.
geysers,
Oh,
right?
Jesus.
Am I right, Advik?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure if the geysers cause it. You may be right. There's a lot of temperature swings and shifts throughout the year. In fact, within a 14-15 day period itself, the temperature changes are quite erratic in Iceland. So, a mosquito is often not able to finish its entire life cycle. It's got to live, grow up, lay eggs, and then the little one has to be born. The whole life cycle. The temperature conditions in Iceland are not very conducive. They are very erratic, much more erratic than Greenland and other places not very far from the Arctic Circle.
So
That's the reason why Iceland is no mosquitoes.
so you're saying that Iceland does not have a stable climate.
Sort of, yeah. This next question, again, open to both of you. Whoever gets the answer right gets the point. There are many countries in the world that have no snakes. Name any one of them.
Ma'am, I'm gonna start guessing.
Hmm.
Ma'am,
Tell me.
Iceland, South Africa, Greenland, Denmark, Switzerland, Serbia, Syria, Cuba.
Hmm?
What is the basis for all these guesses, Devansh?
Ma'am, random guesses. I
No.
think the cleaner countries.
So I think it might be somewhere near the pole. So I'm thinking Canada.
So Devansh's thesis is a very clean country will have no snakes. And Advik's thesis is a very cold country will not have snakes. You
Ma'am,
are.
can I say something?
Yes.
Vatican City.
Has no snakes because they are so spotlessly clean.
No, ma'am, because they are small. Because that is very small.
That's your thesis.
Ma'am, Honduras, Haiti. Okay,
What is the basis for Honduras and Haiti not having snakes?
ma'am,
Maybe
I
it's
don't
because
know.
of the
No.
Ma'am, I
tropical
don't know anything
climate
about
of its
Honduras.
Okay, it's in Central America.
Just that
the
it is very
the
small.
fact
Okay.
the fact that he said I also have a basis for Honduras and Haiti.
Hmm.
They're all island countries, which means land snakes don't get to them because there's water
Wait,
surrounding them
Honduras
all,
is an island?
uh, and these water snakes, these land snakes can't swim, and water snakes can't get on land. So I think they
Brilliant
have no snakes.
thesis. By the way, Advik, I have to give you half a point for this thesis. All right. Okay, so far before this answer, Advik was at 4 and Devansh was at 3. So now I'm awarding Advik an extra half a point for your thesis that typically island countries are unlikely to have snakes. Very, very tiny island countries. Honduras is not an island country, it's in Central America. Haiti is an island country. I mean, for the thesis, I'm awarding you that point, half a point. But Haiti definitely has snakes. Shall I give you guys the answers?
No, ma'am.
Heat, please.
This is a very big island country that had remained isolated from various other land masses for a very long time, and therefore, this big island country has no snakes. And no, I am not talking about Australia. Australia has lots of snakes.
Ma'am, I know that.
Greenland.
Yes, Greenland does not have snakes. It is for two reasons. One, it is relatively
Ma'am, I
isolated as
said
an
Greenland
island.
in the beginning.
I agree. I know you randomly guessed South Africa, Greenland, Switzerland, everything came for you in that guess. Within the thesis that island country guess, if you look at it, Greenland, Iceland, Ireland, they all don't have snakes. I'll definitely give you a quarter point for that. The correct answer is there's a whole bunch of countries that do not have snakes, and all of them are island countries. New Zealand is one of the biggest countries that does not have any snakes. Ireland, Iceland, Greenland, and a whole bunch of islands in the Pacific Ocean do not have snakes for the thesis that we just developed, which is that countries that have remained isolated from mainland areas, it's very hard for snakes to have migrated there and evolved there. So the score at the moment stands as 4.5 for Advik and 3.25 for Devansh. Now we move on to the theme is physical features. Again, this is a question that's open to both of you. Whoever wants to can answer this first. There are quite a few countries that have no rivers passing through them. No rivers at all. No permanent rivers, that's what I meant. Can you name the largest amongst them? Yes, Devansh.
Ma'am, Saudi Arabia.
Perfect. Bingo. 1 full point. So you're now at 4.25. The next question. Name a country where it never rains. Like never ever.
Ma'am, Egypt.
I don't know if you have reached the stage where your textbooks talk about the ancient Egyptian civilization, but the Nile would often overflow. It's a rain-fed river, and it would often overflow. That's how the Egyptian civilization developed. So Egypt gets some
Oh.
rain. But what's your thesis there when you said Egypt? You were on the
Ma'am,
right
because
track.
it's a technically desert country.
Great. That's a good thesis.
Oh, so ma'am, if there is no rain, it has to be a country with the lowest human population. So I think it should be Libya.
No.
That's a great thesis. Here's the correct answer. There is no country on earth where it never rains. It is a bit of a googly question. However, there is one region in the world where it has never rained in the last 400 years. There is one part of the earth, planet Earth, where not a single water droplet has fallen
Okay.
on land
Ma'am,
in
can
the
you give
last
a hint about that
400
place?
years. So you were on the right track, Devansh, when you're thinking about a desert.
Yes, ma'am, but ma'am, Dubai, but it rains there sometimes.
It is not in Africa, it is not in Asia.
Ma'am, how did that help?
The correct answer is the Atacama Desert in Chile. It hasn't rained in the last 400 years.
Wow!
Devansh, you're at 4.25, and Advik is at 4.5. All right. Okay.
Oh,
Now for
God.
two very, very simple questions. Okay. Which is the smallest country in the world?
Vatican City.
Okay. Devansh gets the point, 5.25, because he said it first. Okay. The largest country in the world is Russia. Which is the second largest country in the
No,
world?
Canada.
Canada.
So, but Devansh said it first, so again I'll have to give him the score. It's 6.25 now for him. This is a very interesting question. The next one that's coming up. Can you name the continents that have volcanoes on them?
Ma'am, Asia, Africa, North America, South America, um, and Antarctica. And ma'am,
Wait.
Europe doesn't have any volcanoes.
So you're ruling out Europe, you're giving me the names of all the other continents, Devansh. Is that correct?
Except for Australia.
So you're ruling out
I
Europe
I
and
say
Australia.
Yes.
my final list is
Hmm.
Asia, Africa,
Hmm.
North America, South America, Antarctica,
Hmm.
and Australia.
Okay, so you're only ruling out Europe.
Yes.
So here's the final answer. The only continent where there are no volcanoes is Australia. Australia has no active volcanoes.
Wow! Ma'am, can I tell a fact about Bulgaria?
Yes.
Ma'am, in Bulgaria, nodding your head means no and shaking your head means yes.
Why did this fun fact pop up into your head just now?
Ma'am, I don't know.
Just like that. Okay, interesting tangent we went off on. All right, next question. This is a very, very easy question, and I think both of you will get it right. So let's see who answers first. Name the continents where you can find lions.
Asia, Africa, North America, and South America.
Ma'am, Asia, Africa, South America, North America, and Europe.
Okay, here's the correct answer. Lions are found in only two continents, Africa and Asia. Today,
And
there are no wild
but
lions
there
roaming
are
in the forests. You may find lions in the zoos.
Wow!
Next question. This is a very, very interesting question. Can you name the city that has the largest number of English speakers in the world?
so I'm thinking that UK will have the most English speakers, most probably in London.
Okay, so you're going with UK and the most populous city in UK, London. So that's your thesis.
Ma'am, England has less population than the USA, right?
As a country, certainly yes.
Obviously.
Which is one city you're going by?
Ma'am, New York, I'll say.
You're going with New York City, okay?
Ma'am, but it could also be in India. In India also there are many English speakers because the population alone is 1.5 billion.
What is Advik going with finally?
San Francisco.
You're going with San Francisco. Okay, all right. So the correct answer, unfortunately, is neither New York City nor San Francisco nor London. The correct answer is actually Mumbai.
Wow.
Mumbai has the
Eh?
world's largest number of English speakers. So Devansh, your original thesis is correct. So I'll give you half a point. You came up with the thesis, which was very good. So you're now at 6 3/4. Here's the last set of questions. This is a rapid fire round. You need to guess the name of the city, and all the cities that I'm about to give you clues for, the names start in M, the letter M, M as in Mumbai. I'll give you a clue. Whoever answers first gets a point. Here we go. This is a city that has an ancient Meenakshi temple in South India.
Madurai.
Advi gets a point. Which city is the birthplace of Lord Krishna?
Ma'am, Dwarka.
Mathura.
Mathura is correct. Advik gets a point. Which city in Europe has a famous football or a soccer team named after it?
Ma'am, there are many cities in Europe.
I'm asking for a city that starts in M.
Madrid.
Madrid is correct. 3 points. Which city has the world's second largest cricket stadium in the world?
Ma'am,
Mumbai.
Melbourne. No, ma'am, that is the largest.
Melbourne is correct. The largest is now the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. So Melbourne was correct.
Oh,
So 1 point. The last question. This is the capital of Russia.
Moscow.
Moscow is right. So here is how the scores stand. Before we started this, Advik was with 4.5 points and Devansh with 6 3/4. Advik got 4 points after that rapid fire and Devansh got 1 point. So Devansh is at 7 3/4. Advik is at 8.5. Are you ready for one more round of rapid fire?
Yes.
Devansh, here's your opportunity to catch up. All ready? Cities I'm about to give you a clue for, all of their names start in the letter S, as in like my name, Sangeetha. This is home to ISRO's launching station.
Sriharikota.
Perfect. Name this city is home to the Opera House and is in Australia.
Sydney.
Perfect. Yes, Advik, you get 2 more points. And the last one, this city hosts houseboats and has the famous Dal Lake in it.
Ma'am,
Srinagar.
Srinagar is also right. 3 more points, Advik. So you get 11.5. And Devansh is now at 7 3/4. Devansh is still a little bit upset. But Devansh, I've got 2 big questions, okay? By some rare stroke of luck. If you get these questions, the answer to these questions right, you'll get 3 points each. Okay? Which country has the most number of libraries in the world?
ma'am, we have to count the most literate countries first. Literate and populous countries.
Japan. Its literate percent is literally 100%.
Mm.
So all the people there know how to read it, right? So
Mm.
I suspect they must be have a lot of libraries, the most libraries in the
And
world.
especially Japan has anime, so they have a lot of comic books.
Eh?
I love how you all have come up with this thesis. Okay. Is that all? Are you
Uh,
locking your answer there, or do you want to come up with
I'm
anything?
Ma'am,
locking.
I am not locked my answer. I'm thinking.
Oh, you're still thinking. Okay.
All right.
Ma'am, US actually has a low literacy rate, so I would say.
India has one of the lowest literacy rates. So don't
Mm.
even try to name India.
So you're ruling India out completely.
It's at 77%.
Okay.
Ma'am, can you give a hint?
Okay. Look at countries that have always had an emphasis on education.
Ma'am, which letter does
Mm.
it start from?
No, I'm not going with all these silly hints. I like the thesis
Ma'am,
based hints.
you didn't need to tell me that hint that you told. That did not help because I don't know any countries.
So you're saying my hint about that country being a seat of learning, where historically
It
there
was
always been an
useless.
emphasis of education, was a completely useless hint. It was a rubbish hint.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So sorry to have fallen short of your standards, Devansh. See, the literacy plus population combination was a great starting point. Okay, I'll have to leave it at that. So you guys were on the right track there.
I'm locking in Japan. I'm confirming it.
Ma'am, I'm saying India.
Devansh is going with
Eh?
India.
Hmm?
Okay. Can I now give the correct answer?
Yes.
Yes.
The correct answer is India.
Wow.
Okay,
But
India has
the
one and a
literacy.
half million libraries. It has the
Ma'am,
world's
I know that
largest
because India
number
is
of.
so big. That's why I guessed India. I don't care about literacy rate.
So, Advik, for you to understand why Japan does not feature so high despite its high literacy, its population is very low. It has just 120 million people. We have about nearly 1.5 billion people. And therefore, Japan doesn't need
But
so many libraries to support them. So, there are only about 40,000 odd libraries in the country of Japan. India has 1.5 million libraries. All right. So, where does the score stand now at the end of all these interesting discussions about libraries and literacy rates?
Ma'am,
so
10.75 and 11.5.
So, 10 and 3 quarters for Devansh and 11 and a half for Advik. Can you name the city which has the largest library in the world?
Ma'am, I read this. This should be true.
Hmm.
Could be true. Ma'am, Rome.
The thesis is
I
that
still have to.
Devansh is recollecting Rome from
I
his mind palace.
I lock my Rome answer. It's because after the Pompeii incident, many people wanted to read about their history and past and everything. So I'm thinking because Rome has a lot of kings, queens, uh, and uh, and important things that have happened in its history. I'm locking in Rome.
All right, since
Ma'am, me
both
too.
of you are in agreement that Rome is the answer, I'm going to now give you the correct answer. Well, the correct answer is not Rome. The
Eh?
correct answer is Washington, D.C. in the United States. The
What?
Library of Congress in the Washington, D.C. in the United States is the world's largest library. You can spend many days walking around that library and still not have finished even just seeing the extent of the library, let alone reading the content in that library.
Oh my God!
So I think at the end of this today's quiz, Advik seems to be the winner. Congratulations, Advik. Brilliantly done. Devansh, it was a very close contest. I'm glad you guys fought well. You had very interesting pieces. I loved listening to your ideas, especially the one about how there are so many anime books. That's why Japan must have such a large number of libraries. Thank you so much for being a part of this podcast. Before I wrap up, can you suggest one interesting episode on what's new today that you would like to recommend to other kids or other families to listen to together?
one of the very first podcasts on Watch You Today. I think it was something about bread and lemons.
Yeah, why prices of wheat and lemon have changed
Yes,
so much in the country of Yemen.
yes.
I remember you were fascinated by that story, and I'm glad you're still fascinated by geopolitics and economics.
Season 3, episode 2, Captain Underpants. Ma'am, it's an episode about Captain Underpants and how his author was diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexia.
This particular episode is about how a person who had dyslexia, which means he had serious difficulty in reading and writing as a child, and he had ADHD and he could barely focus. How he grew up to become one of the most famous authors and one of the most successful authors of children's books.
Big David.
But yes, I shall leave a link to the 2 episodes that Advik and Devansh recommended. Advik's episode recommendation on Yemen and wheat prices, and Devansh's recommendation on how Captain Underpants' book was written. I'll leave a link to both of them in the show notes below. Thank you, Advik and Devansh, for joining me, and I hope all of our listeners had a swell time. I had actually a lot of fun when I was researching and coming up with all of these questions. I hope our listeners and Advik and Devansh, all of you, have had a wonderful time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.